Welcome back, treasure hunters. In today's video, we're unlocking the secrets of one of the most surprising and ultra-rare coins hiding in plain sight. The top 5 most expensive USA Jefferson Nickel. This isn't just spare change. This is a piece of American history that could be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars if you know what to look for. From rare full-step strikes to elusive minting varieties, this coin has shocked collectors and continues to rise in value year after year. So get ready, check your pockets, your jars, and your old collections, because you just might be sitting on a hidden gem. Let's jump in. First up in the 1964 Jefferson Nickel holds a special place in American numismatics, standing today as one of the most discussed and carefully examined issues in the entire nickel series. Its enormous mintage, combined with the dramatic historical circumstances of its release, makes common examples easy to find, but ultra-rare varieties, high-grade survivors, and proof-like strikes from this year have become major trophies for serious collectors. Among these, the elusive full steps examples and certain unusual die varieties have achieved near-mythic reputations, changing hands at premium prices. This fascinating mixture of accessibility on one end and breathtaking rarity on the other has made the 1964 Jefferson Nickel one of the most sought-after modern U.S. coins, attracting new collectors and seasoned numismatists alike. The 1964 Jefferson Nickel emerged at a time when the economy faced a nationwide shortage of circulating coins. To combat this crisis, the Philadelphia and Denver mints produced staggering numbers of nickels, meaning that, although 1964 coins are common, high-grade, or specially struck examples stand out dramatically. This year also marked the final use of the pre-1965 composition and design style before significant production reforms swept through U.S. coinage. The coin still featured the classic bust of Thomas Jefferson and the Monticello home design, both introduced in 1938 by sculptor Felix Schlag. While the coin does not commemorate a bicentennial event, its place at the end of an era has made certain 1964 issues historically notable. The 1964 Jefferson Nickel features on its obverse a refined portrait of Thomas Jefferson with the familiar inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date. The reverse displays the architecturally elegant Monticello, long admired for its balance and symmetry. The coin is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, weighs 5 grams, and has a diameter of 21.2 millimeters. While standard circulation strikes are common, the rarest treasures are those struck with unusually sharp dies, producing exceptionally clear full steps lines on Monticello's staircase, an indicator of superior strike quality. In rare cases, nickels from this year exhibit proof-like surfaces, doubled dies, or extremely sharp reverse details, distinguishing them as special finds within an otherwise ordinary issue. Although millions of 1964 nickels were minted, the true rarity lies in finding high-grade, well-struck examples, particularly those exhibiting the coveted full steps designation. Weak strikes plagued this year, meaning that sharply detailed coins are extremely difficult to obtain. Coins graded MS66 or MS67 with full steps are exceptionally scarce, and the top population pieces from either Mint, Philadelphia, No Mint Mark, or Denver D are considered ultra-rare modern treasures. Additionally, certain varieties such as double die obverse or reverse, die clashes, struck through errors, and unusual die polishing patterns significantly increase a coin's desirability. Condition is crucial. Even a small nick, strike weakness, or loss of luster can dramatically reduce value. As a result, only a tiny fraction of 1,964 nickels survive in the highest collectible grades. Values fluctuate, but trends show that ultra-high-grade coins or rare die varieties continue appreciating due to their extreme scarcity and growing collector competition. Collectors pursuing the 1964 Jefferson Nickel should pay close attention to strike sharpness, luster, and the condition of the steps on Monticello. A magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe is essential to identify full steps characteristics and to differentiate between die wear and actual contact marks. Professional certification from grading services like PCGS or NGC is highly recommended, especially when dealing with high-value or FS-designated examples. Storage in archival quality holders, proper humidity control, and minimal handling will preserve the coin's delicate surfaces. For acquisition, reputable dealers, major auction houses, online numismatic marketplaces, and specialized Jefferson Nickel communities offer the best opportunities to find premium examples or rare variety. One of the most compelling aspects of the 1964 Jefferson Nickel is its place at a pivotal transition point in American coinage. While silver coins captured most of the public's attention during the mid-1960s, the nickel also played a crucial supporting role in the monetary system. The coin shortage of 1964 pushed the mint into overdrive, leading to decisions that affected production for decades. New high-speed presses were being tested, dies were overused, and the pressure to meet national demand overshadowed the usual quality controls. This resulted in countless weak strikes and die erosion issues. But paradoxically, it also created the perfect conditions for rare technical standouts. A handful of coins were accidentally struck with exceptionally fresh dies before the machinery became overworked, producing the ultra-sharp full steps coins now considered crown jewels in the Jefferson series. Their emergence from such a chaotic moment in minting history contributes significantly to their mystique and desirability. A major factor behind the growing enthusiasm for this coin lies in the discovery of increasingly complex and surprising die varieties. The 1964 nickel has become a playground for specialists who enjoy cataloging the subtle differences in die states, doubling patterns, and reverse details. Certain doubled dies display noticeable spreading on Jefferson's profile, the inscriptions, or the architectural lines of Monticello, discoveries that continue to energize the collector community. Likewise, die polishing lines, repunched mint marks on Denver issues, and transitional die states have provided an ever-expanding spectrum of niche varieties. These varieties create a rich field of study not only for advanced numismatists, but also for beginners who enjoy the thrill of searching pocket change for hidden treasures. The ongoing discovery of new varieties ensures that the 1964 Jefferson Nickel will remain a dynamic and evolving area of numismatic research. The prominence of the 1964 Jefferson Nickel in modern collecting is also closely tied to the role of third-party grading services. Organizations like PeaceGS and NGC have elevated the status of high-grade and full steps examples by offering clear, standardized criteria for evaluating strike quality and surface preservation. The FS designation, in particular, revolutionized value assessment for the Jefferson series, transforming the 1964 nickel from a common coin into a major rarity when struck to perfection. Population reports reveal just how few coins achieve top-level grades, often numbering in single digits for the finest FS specimens. This scarcity, verified by professional grading, fuels competition and drives prices higher. For collectors, receiving a high-grade certification on a 1964 nickel can be a moment of genuine excitement, as it instantly elevates the coin into a tier of its own within one of America's most heavily collected series. The investment appeal of the 1964 Jefferson Nickel has grown steadily, supported by increasing interest in mid-20th century U.S. coinage. Collectors are looking beyond traditional rarities and exploring modern series where scarcity is defined not by mintage numbers, but by top-condition survival rates. The 1964 nickel fits this trend perfectly. Billions were minted, yet virtually none survive at the highest quality thresholds. This disparity has created a stable long-term market where demand consistently outpaces supply. High-grade Jefferson nickels, especially FS pieces, have shown strong appreciation over the last 2 decades, with auction records demonstrating steady upward momentum. While individual prices can fluctuate based on major finds or grading population changes, the overall trajectory suggests that elite examples will remain highly attractive investments thanks to their near-absolute rarity and long-standing collector demand. Finally, the cultural legacy of the 1964 Jefferson Nickel extends beyond its technical attributes and market value. Next up in the 1941 Jefferson Nickel stands as one of the most intriguing early-date issues in the long-running Jefferson series, prized by collectors for both its historical charm and its potential for exceptional value in top-tier grades. While millions were minted, only a very small number survive today in pristine condition with fully struck details, brilliant surfaces, or rare die varieties, traits that dramatically elevate its worth. The coin's rising popularity in the modern collector market has made high-grade, sharply detailed 1941 nickels increasingly difficult to acquire, especially those certified at the upper end of the grading scale. Among early 20th century U.S. 5-cent pieces, The 1941 issue has secured a prominent place because of its balance of historical interest, artistic design, and surprisingly strong market demand. Struck just months before the United States formally entered World War II, the 1941 Jefferson Nickel reflects a period of tremendous economic and political transition. Minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, this coin represents the final years of the traditional copper-nickel alloy before wartime metal shortages led to the introduction of the silver war nickels. No special commemoration was intended in 1941, but its production sits at a critical crossroads in U.S. history, capturing the last chapter of pre-war normalcy. Its obverse honors Thomas Jefferson, the nation's third president, while the reverse depicts Monticello, Jefferson's iconic Virginia estate, continuing the artistic vision first introduced by designer Felix Schlag in 1938. This combination of historical resonance and pre-war production has made the 1941 issue a favorite among collectors of early Jefferson nickels. The 1941 Jefferson Nickel features Felix Schlag's now classic portrait of Jefferson on the obverse, emphasizing clarity in the facial structure and smooth, sweeping contours that are especially attractive when found fully struck. The reverse presents Monticello with symmetrical columns, a domed roof, and sharply incised steps, details that become crucial when evaluating the coin's strike quality. Composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, the coin weighs 5 grams and measures 21.2 millimeters in diameter. What makes certain 1941 nickels particularly coveted is the presence of full steps, FS, on the reverse, an indication that the coin was struck with enough pressure to display all steps of Monticello clearly. Fully struck examples with clean surfaces and strong luster are visually stunning and much rarer than typical circulated pieces, giving these coins their premium value. Despite a high overall mintage, truly exceptional 1941 Jefferson nickels are scarce due to widespread circulation, wartime economic pressures, and the softness of the copper-nickel alloy, which made the design prone to wear. The most valuable pieces are those displaying full steps, as even minor imperfections can prevent a coin from earning the coveted FS designation from grading services like PCGS and NGC. The 1941D and 1941 S mint marks offer additional complexity, with the San Francisco issue being notably more difficult to locate in flawless condition. Rare die varieties, such as repunched mint marks, RPMs, also enhance desirability. These factors, combined with limited surviving populations of high-grade examples, make upper mint state 1941 coins surprisingly rare and consistently in demand. While circulated 1941 nickels are common and often worth modest premiums, the value rises sharply for mint state and full steps coins. Typical MS-65 examples range from $20 to $60, but coins certified MS-67 or higher can command several $100s due to their scarcity. The rarest and most valuable are the full steps, FS coins, especially from the Denver and San Francisco mints. A genuinely pristine MS-67 FS example of the 1941D or 1941 S can reach $1,000 to $3,000, depending on strike quality and eye appeal, with exceptional auction results occasionally climbing higher. Rare RPMs, strong strike anomalies, and beautifully toned pieces also draw premium bids. These values reflect steady market growth as early Jefferson nickels continue gaining recognition as an affordable yet sophisticated collecting field. Collectors seeking the most valuable 1941 Jefferson nickel should focus on coins with exceptional strike quality and clean, unblemished surfaces. The full steps designation is especially important for investment-level pieces, so studying the Monticello steps under magnification is essential. Purchasing certified coins from PCGS or NGC can protect buyers from counterfeits, altered surfaces, or overgraded raw coins. Storage in inert, airtight holders and protection from humidity or direct sunlight will help preserve luster and prevent toning changes. The best sources for acquiring high-grade examples include reputable online auctions, specialized nickel dealers, and numismatic shows where professional grading and side-by-side comparisons are possible. Patience is key, as premium 1941 FS coins do not appear frequently. That the 1941 Jefferson Nickel holds enduring significance is its place at the threshold of a major transformation in U.S. coinage. With the country on the brink of World War II, The U.S. Mint was already preparing for shifts in resource allocation, and nickel, an essential industrial metal, was in high demand for military production. As a result, the years immediately following 1941 saw the introduction of the wartime alloy nickels made of silver, manganese, and copper. Because the 1941 issue represents the last fully intended pre-war copper-nickel composition struck in large quantities, it carries a symbolic weight as the close of one era and the precursor to an unprecedented period in American minting history. Collectors who appreciate transitional year coinage see the 1941 nickel as an anchor point, both a relic of peace and a prelude to the rapid economic and technological changes brought on by global conflict. The value of the 1941 Jefferson Nickel is also influenced by its relationship to strike quality and die wear, factors that play an unusually important role in this year's production. As demand for circulating coinage rose sharply in the early 1940s, the mint often used dies longer than ideal, resulting in soft strikes, blurry details, and incomplete steps on many nickels. Coins struck with fresh dies, especially those achieving the distinguished full steps designation, are dramatically scarcer and therefore command much higher premiums. Numismatists often study the 1941 issues specifically to examine how die fatigue, die polishing, and striking pressure affect the final appearance of a coin. The challenge of finding well-struck, high-luster examples adds a level of excitement to collecting this issue, turning even a seemingly ordinary coin into a rewarding treasure hunt for dedicated enthusiasts. That the 1941 Jefferson Nickel has gained increasing attention as more collectors recognize the potential of the early Jefferson series. Rising demand for mid-century U.S. coinage, along with registry-set competition at major grading services, has elevated the value of top-tier specimens. Collectors today are more willing than ever to pay premiums for coins with exceptional eye appeal, original luster, and sharp strikes, even if the date is not traditionally considered rare. As a result, the 1941 Jefferson Nickel has evolved from a common circulation-era coin into a respected investment piece for those building high-end sets. Whether assembled as part of a wartime-era type collection, a full steps registry set, or a long-term diversification strategy, the 1941 nickel demonstrates measurable growth in market strength. Its combination of historical depth, design beauty, and increasing scarcity positions it as a coin whose value and prestige are likely to continue rising well into the future. The 1941 Jefferson Nickel represents far more than a common pre-war circulation coin. It is a historically meaningful, artistically appealing, and potentially valuable treasure for modern collectors. Its connection to a pivotal period in U.S. history, combined with Schlag's elegant design and the intricacies of strike quality, give this issue lasting appeal. High-grade examples, particularly those with full steps or rare varieties, continue to appreciate as the coin community deepens its appreciation for early Jefferson nickels. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a new collector exploring this classic American series, the 1941 Jefferson Nickel offers both historical satisfaction and solid investment potential, ensuring its place as one of the standout issues of the Jefferson series. Next up in the 1989, D. Jefferson Nickel holds a subtle yet meaningful place in modern U.S. numismatics, especially for collectors who focus on late 20th century mint state rarities and elusive high-grade business strikes. While it is not a commemorative or formally designated bicentennial issue, its importance arises from the challenges of finding true top-tier examples and rare minting anomalies that have captured the attention of advanced collectors. As decades pass, coins from the late 1980s, once viewed as ordinary pocket change, have begun emerging as surprising conditional rarities, and the 1989 D is at the forefront of this movement. Its desirability stems from both the technical difficulty of locating pristine survivors and the growing recognition that modern high-grade nickels can command significant premiums when certified by top grading services. Historically, the 1989 D nickel belongs to the long-running Jefferson Nickel series, introduced in 1938 and featuring the iconic portrait of Thomas Jefferson by Felix Schlag. The year 1989 was a period of steady circulation strike production, with the Denver Mint continuing its role as a major contributor to U.S. coinage. Although not associated with any specific national anniversary or commemorative milestone, the coin serves as a representation of stable late Cold War era minting, when bulk production was prioritized, often at the expense of high-quality strikes. As a result, high-end mint state coins from 1989, particularly from Denver, are scarcer than most collectors initially expect, giving the piece unexpected historical and collectible depth. Visually, the 1989 Jefferson Nickel remains faithful to the long-established design. Jefferson's left-facing bust on the obverse and a depiction of his famed Monticello estate on the reverse. The coin is struck in the standard copper, nickel alloy, measuring 21.2 millimeters in diameter and weighing 5 grams. Yet its allure lies not in materials, but in the subtleties that distinguish exceptional specimens. A razor-sharp Monticello, full steps at the base of the building, and crisp hair details on the obverse are the markers of elite examples, features that were notoriously inconsistent in circulation strikes of this era. The combination of strike weakness, planchet inconsistencies, and rapid minting speed makes truly premium 1989 D-nickels visually striking and technically remarkable. Rarity in the 1989 D-nickel does not come from low mintage. Over 500 million were produced, but rather from the scarcity of survivors in high-grade mint state, particularly MS67 or higher, and the elusive full steps, FS designation. Very few were preserved with the quality needed for top certification, and FS examples are significantly rarer due to the Denver Mint's chronic strike issues in the late 1980s. Additionally, several minor die varieties and strike anomalies, including die breaks, cud formations, and overpolished dies, create niche microrarities that specialized collectors eagerly pursue. These factors elevate the 1989 D from common circulation coinage to a serious hunt for modern series enthusiasts. In today's market, values vary widely based on grading, strike quality, and the presence of full steps. A typical circulated 1989 D nickel holds minimal monetary value, but high-grade uncertified examples can bring modest premiums. Certified mint state specimens in MS65 typically range from $10 to $40, while MS66 examples can reach $50 to $120 depending on eye appeal. The true standout values appear at the top of the grading scale. MS67 coins, especially those with full steps, can sell for $400 to over $1,500, with the rarest FS pieces commanding even more at major auctions. These prices reflect the growing appreciation for modern conditional rarities, where impeccable preservation and sharp strike quality drive demand far more than mintage totals. Collectors seeking a high-value 1989 D should look closely at strike sharpness, luster quality, and surface preservation, as these factors determine whether a coin has the potential for grading premiums. Submitting candidates to reputable grading services, such as PCGS or NGC, is essential for maximizing value, since certification transforms a common date nickel into a verified collectible with clear market appeal. Proper long-term storage, especially in non-PVC holders and climate-controlled conditions, helps preserve luster and prevent contact marks. Acquiring top examples typically involves monitoring online auctions, certified coin marketplaces, and dealer inventories, where modern series specialists often list premium high-grade nickels that the 1989 Jefferson Nickel has gained increasing traction in the investment side of numismatics, particularly among collectors who specialize in modern series with strong long-term potential. As the supply of untouched, original mint state rolls from the late 1980s continues to dwindle, the availability of undiscovered high-grade coins shrinks each year. This natural reduction in supply gives certified premium-grade examples greater stability and slow, but steady upward momentum in the value charts. Because the Jefferson Nickel series is widely collected and historically affordable, investors often view top-grade 1989 D pieces as an accessible entry point into the broader market of conditional rarities. Coins that may experience more appreciation as demand for high-quality modern issues continues to expand among younger collectors. Another compelling aspect of the 1989 D nickel lies in its diverse range of minor die varieties and minting anomalies, many of which have become prized targets for variety specialists. Die cracks, die chips, and interior breaks, particularly around the steps of Monticello or the letters of E pluribus unum, create visually interesting imperfections that distinguish individual specimens. Some die states show heavy polishing lines resulting from mint reworking, giving the fields a dramatic, almost proof-like appearance. Although not all varieties command large premiums, The more dramatic anomalies can fetch considerably higher prices among collectors who appreciate the historical narrative embedded in the minting process. These imperfections serve as tangible evidence of the high-speed, high-pressure production environment of the late 1980s, making each variety a small piece of Denver Mint history. The 1989 Jefferson Nickel holds a special place in modern numismatic culture because it sits at the crossroads between traditional collecting and the rise of digital scholarship, grading population data, and online coin trading. As more collectors turn to digital platforms to share high-resolution images, discuss new finds, and compare grading results, interest in coins like the 1989 has grown substantially. This increasing visibility elevates coins once considered ordinary into noteworthy collectibles, particularly when standout examples are shared in numismatic forums or showcased in auction catalogs. The coin's growing popularity reflects a broader trend. Modern-era U.S. coins are no longer overlooked, but are now being appreciated for their technical nuances, scarcity at higher grades, and potential for future market growth. In this environment, the 1989 Jefferson Nickel has become a symbol of how even late 20th century circulation coins can transform into desirable treasures for collectors who recognize their hidden potential. The 1989 Jefferson Nickel may appear ordinary at first glance, but its true value emerges in the realm of high-grade numismatics, where pristine condition and strong strikes elevate it into an unexpectedly desirable modern rarity. Its historical continuity within the Jefferson series, combined with the technical difficulty of obtaining full steps examples, gives it both aesthetic and investment appeal. For collectors, this coin represents an opportunity to secure a piece of modern American coinage history, one that continues to appreciate as more enthusiasts recognize the growing significance of late 20th century conditional rarities. Whether pursued for its beauty, its challenge, or its long-term value potential, the 1989 Jefferson Nickel stands as a compelling addition to any thoughtful collection. Next up in the 1981 Jefferson Nickel holds a fascinating place in modern U.S. numismatics, especially in top-grade examples or in rare die variety categories that elevate its value far above ordinary circulation pieces. Though billions of Jefferson nickels were produced during the late 20th century, the 1981 stands apart due to the extreme difficulty of finding sharply struck, pristine, fully detailed specimens. As collectors increasingly focus on modern conditional rarities, the highest-grade 1981 examples have surged in desirability. This particular issue has become highly sought after because extremely well-preserved pieces can bring substantial premiums, especially those showing full steps on Monticello, a feature that dramatically increases demand and distinguishes the coin as an elite modern rarity. The 1981 nickel was produced during a time of growing public interest in coinage, but relatively little attention to preserving circulating coins. This era predated modern collecting habits in which many people intentionally saved new issues, meaning that high-quality survivors from 1981 are far scarcer today than their mintage might suggest. The coin represents the continuing legacy of the Jefferson Nickel series, which began in 1938 and remained a staple of American commerce throughout the 20th century. Although not commemorating a specific anniversary, the coin reflects a transitional period before the mint redesign dies in the mid-1980s, making earlier strikes like this one historically meaningful to collectors who specialize in late-series Jefferson nickels. That the 1981 Jefferson Nickel retains the classic design by Felix Schlag, featuring a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and the iconic depiction of Monticello, his Virginia estate, on the reverse. Struck in a copper-nickel alloy weighing 5 grams, the coin measures 21.2 millimeters and continues the traditional 5-cent format used since 1866. What truly sets the most valuable 1981 examples apart is not the basic design, but the strike quality, particularly the elusive full steps, FS designation. To earn this grade, the staircase on Monticello must show complete, uninterrupted horizontal lines, a rarity for 1981 due to weak strikes and rapid die that plagued the Philadelphia Mint that year. In high-grade certified holders, especially those with sharply defined steps, the coin becomes a standout modern treasure. Rarity is the defining factor behind the coin's rising prominence. Although millions were minted, only a tiny fraction survive in MS-66 or MS-67 condition with full steps detail. Most 1981 P nickels circulated heavily, picked up abrasions, or suffered soft strikes, leaving enthusiasts with a narrow pool of true investment-grade examples. The combination of large mintage and low high-grade survival creates what collectors call a conditional rarity, a coin common in general, but extremely scarce in its finest states of preservation. For this reason, grading is crucial. A standard MS-64 coin might be worth modestly more than face value, while a top-tier MS-66 or MS-67 FS example can command thousands. Market demand for high-grade 1981 P. Jefferson nickels has accelerated in the past decade as collectors recognize how challenging this date is to obtain in pristine form. A non-full steps MS-66 example may trade between $40 and $120, depending on appeal, while MS-67 non-FS pieces, very scarce in themselves, can sell from $300 to over $700. The real stars of the market, however, are the full steps varieties. An MS-66 FS example can bring $800 to $1,800, and the rarest MS-67 FS pieces have reached $3,000 to $5,000 or more at auction when exceptional surfaces and hammer-sharp steps are present. These values reflect genuine collector competition, not hype, grounded in the rarity and difficulty of securing such well-preserved coins from a year known for weak strikes. That the 1981 P. Jefferson nickel also benefits from growing interest in modern-era numismatics, a field once overshadowed by the classic coins of earlier decades. As more collectors shift toward completing high-grade registry sets, competition for the finest examples of challenging modern dates has intensified. This shift has placed coins like the 1981 P in the spotlight, as collectors recognize that not all modern issues are easy to obtain in premium condition. In fact, the date has become something of a benchmark for serious Jefferson nickel enthusiasts who understand that while many late 20th century coins are plentiful, the truly exceptional ones, those with flawless surfaces, booming luster, and precision-struck steps, are exceedingly rare. This competitive environment has elevated the coin's prestige and reinforced its standing as one of the major conditional rarities of the entire Jefferson series. Auction houses and grading services continue to shape the perception and value of elite 1981 P specimens. Reports of strong results for MS-66 and MS-67 full steps coins have encouraged new collectors to search their own holdings, fueling renewed interest in raw 1980s nickel rolls and bags. Population reports further emphasize the scarcity. Only a tiny number have achieved the highest designations, and many years pass without a new discovery making it into the top ranks. These factors not only justify the coin's current value, but also hint at continued upward momentum as demand outpaces the extremely limited supply. As grading standards remain strict and collectors grow more discerning, the finest 1981 P examples will likely continue achieving record-setting prices whenever they appear on the market. The 1981 P. Jefferson nickel as a standout rarity is the combination of its historical continuity, design legacy, and modern scarcity. It represents a bridge between early Jefferson nickel production and today's highly refined minting techniques, offering collectors a chance to hold a piece of transitional American coinage that is far harder to obtain in pristine condition than most people realize. Whether collected for its investment potential, its sophisticated strike characteristics, or its place in the larger narrative of United States coinage, the 1981 P nickel continues to represent a rewarding and meaningful addition to any serious collection. Its top-grade full steps examples stand as proof that even common circulating coins can evolve into elite treasures when preserved against all odds and appreciated for the rare technical qualities that make them extraordinary. Collectors seeking the most valuable 1981 P specimens should pay close attention to strike quality, luster, and step detail, using certified examples from reputable grading services like PCGS or NGC for confidence. Raw coins are often difficult to judge accurately, making certification essential when dealing with expensive conditional rarities. Proper storage, airtight capsules, controlled humidity, and handling only by the edges helps maintain the surfaces that give these coins their value. Networking within numismatic communities and monitoring reputable auctions are excellent strategies for finding top-tier examples, as many of the best pieces surface only sporadically. The 1981 P. Jefferson nickel stands as an important modern rarity, prized for its combination of historical significance, classic design, and exceptional scarcity at the highest grading levels. Its appeal lies not in low mintage, but in the dramatic challenge of finding fully struck, flawless examples that meet demanding modern standards. For both beginning and advanced collectors, the coin offers a rewarding opportunity, an affordable entry point at lower grades, and a true investment quality treasure in the elusive full steps category. As interest in conditional rarities continues to grow, the 1981 Jefferson Nickel is positioned to remain a standout piece with strong potential for long-term appreciation. Next up in the 1964 Jefferson Nickel holds a powerful position in the world of American numismatics, not merely because of its massive mintage, but because of the tiny handful of ultra-rare varieties and high-grade survivors that have become extremely valuable today. Although millions were produced for everyday circulation, the rarest versions, especially certain erroneous strikes, full-step specimens, and high-end certified pieces, are intensely sought after by serious collectors. Even heavily worn or damaged examples can spark interest if they display specific rare traits, but it is the pristine, sharply struck pieces that command extraordinary attention. The 1964 issue represents a turning point in U.S. coinage, making it one of the most studied and pursued dates in the entire Jefferson Nickel series. The 1964 nickel was minted during a time of national coin shortages caused by booming vending machine use and rising silver prices. In response, the U.S. Mint struck over 2.8 billion nickels, the highest mintage in the denomination's history at the time. Because the nickel contained no silver, it was relied upon heavily by commerce, and the mint continued producing 1964 dated nickels well into 1965 to keep up with consumer demand. Although not commemorative in nature, the coin carries the symbolic presence of Thomas Jefferson, paired with the iconic Monticello on the reverse. It represents the last year before the introduction of new mint marks and major changes in U.S. coinage manufacturing. The design of the 1964 Jefferson Nickel remains one of the most familiar images in American money. The obverse, sculpted by Felix Schlag, portrays a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, with rich details in the cheekbone, jawline, and hair, details that only remain fully visible on sharply struck, high-grade coins. The reverse features Monticello, Jefferson's estate, with the words Monticello and 5 cents below. What makes 1964 nickels especially interesting is the quality variation. The rush to relieve coin shortages resulted in many weak strikes, but the rare full steps, FS, examples, showing fully separated steps on Monticello, are extremely hard to find and visually stunning. These FS varieties are the true gems of the series. Despite their enormous mintage, several factors contribute to the rarity of valuable 1964 nickels. First, full steps examples are exceedingly scarce because the dies were overused and poorly maintained during the minting rush. Second, certain die varieties, such as doubled dies, repunched mint marks, and die breaks, add significant scarcity. Third, most 1964 nickels circulated heavily, causing damage, grime, and where that eliminated the fine details needed for premium valuation. Even though damaged and old coins may appear visually interesting, they rarely carry high monetary value unless a major mint error is present. Collectors focus intensely on the small fraction of coins that survived with exceptional detail or rare minting anomalies. In the modern market, the most valuable 1964 Jefferson nickels are those graded MS-66, MS-67 with full steps, which can sell for $5,000 to over $15,000, depending on the strike quality and certification. Exceptional error coins, such as off-center strikes, double strikes, or wrong planchet errors, can reach $1,000 to $5,000. Standard circulated or damaged 1964 nickels, however, usually have a value of 5 to 50 cents, unless they exhibit a verified rare error. High-end examples continue to appreciate steadily as advanced collectors compete for the limited supply of flawless coins. Auction records show consistent upward movement over the past decade, particularly for full steps pieces. For collectors trying to identify valuable examples, the first step is examining the steps on Monticello with magnification. Fully separated steps, without interruptions, are the key to premium pricing. Next, search for die doubling on the date or lettering, unusual striking anomalies, or planchet abnormalities. Because counterfeits exist for high-grade coins, certification by trusted authorities like PCGS or NGC is essential. Collectors should store their best pieces in airtight, acid-free holders and avoid cleaning, which destroys surface quality and slashes value. Finding rare examples is most successful through coin shows, reputable dealers, online auctions, and older coin collections that haven't been searched for varieties. The strike characteristics of the 1964 Jefferson Nickel play an enormous role in determining its desirability and market strength. Because the mint rushed production to combat the coin shortage, many coins suffered from mushy details, weak rims, and incomplete step definition. This inconsistency created a unique dynamic in today's collector market, where small differences in strike sharpness can produce massive swings in value. A coin with slightly clearer steps or stronger hair detail on Jefferson can command a price many times higher than an average strike. This is one of the reasons 1964 nickels are frequently examined under professional lighting and magnification, as those tiny distinctions often separate a common coin from one worth thousands. Veteran collectors regard the 1964 issue as an essential study piece in the importance of strike quality in mid-century U.S. coinage. An additional factor contributing to the fascination surrounding the 1964 Jefferson nickel is its connection to transitional minting practices. During 1964 to 1965, the mint temporarily removed mint marks to discourage hoarding and support mass production. Though 1964 nickels do have mint marks, this period marked a transitional shift in U.S. coinage policies, making the 1964 issue symbolically tied to one of the most chaotic eras in modern minting history. These production conditions also gave rise to numerous die anomalies, including overpolished dies, misaligned strikes, die gouges, and RPM, repunched mint mark, varieties. Collectors of error coins especially appreciate the 1964 nickel, as the massive minting volume and equipment strain produced an unusually diverse set of collectible varieties. This diversity offers collectors endless opportunities to explore specialty niches within the Jefferson Nickel series. The 1964 nickel demonstrates how quality, certification, and rarity interact to create long-term value in numismatics. As more collectors focus on high-grade Jefferson nickels, especially full steps examples, the supply of premium certified coins becomes tighter, driving steady upward appreciation. This trend is particularly evident in auction houses, where certified MS-67 FS pieces often spark intense bidding wars due to their combination of beauty and scarcity. Even lower-grade but rare error varieties have shown strong performance, as collectors increasingly recognize the historical importance of mid-century minting errors. Investors often hold these coins for long periods, not only for potential monetary gain, but because they represent an era of American coinage defined by high demand, rapid production, and lasting numismatic intrigue. The enduring appeal of the 1964 Jefferson Nickel ultimately lies in its blend of accessibility and exclusivity. While anyone can find a circulated 1964 nickel in pocket change or old collections, only a select few will ever own the rare full steps or major error examples that headline auctions. This dual nature makes the coin uniquely compelling. Entry-level collectors can enjoy the history and design without great expense, while advanced collectors can pursue high-end pieces that represent the pinnacle of the Jefferson series. Its broad appeal ensures that the 1964 nickel will remain a cornerstone of U.S. numismatics, admired not only for its role in everyday commerce, but also for the hidden rarities and exceptional examples that elevate it into the realm of true collectible treasures. The 1964 Jefferson Nickel stands as one of the most fascinating coins in modern American numismatics. Though common in its base form, the rare high-grade and error versions elevate the coin to elite status among collectors. Its powerful historical context, iconic design, and dramatic difference between common and ultra-rare varieties make it a rewarding pursuit for both beginners and experienced numismatists. As demand grows for premium Jefferson nickels, the finest 1964 examples remain excellent long-term collectibles, blending historical significance, aesthetic beauty, and strong investment potential.